You know that sound, right? If you've ever been anywhere near the coast on a foggy day, you've heard it. That deep, haunting boom that seems to come from everywhere at once. It's the foghorn, and it's a sound that just feels ancient and powerful. But have you ever really stopped to think about why it sounds exactly like that? Well, it's definitely not a random choice, and it's not just for some dramatic, spooky effect. The real answer is this incredible mix of physics, clever engineering, and for the sailors caught out at sea, it's the very real science of survival. That specific pitch, that deep rumble, is literally a matter of life and death. Okay, so to really get this, we first have to understand the core problem these horns were built to solve, and it's a terrifying one: the absolute disorienting danger of maritime fog. Now, for you and me, fog might just be a bit of gloomy weather, but for a sailor at sea, it's like a solid white wall just descends out of nowhere. One minute you can see the horizon, the next, you can't even see the front of your own ship. Everything just vanishes. It's this sudden, chilling sensory deprivation where you're left totally blind, with only your hearing to guide you. And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the stakes back in the day. I mean, think about it. Before radar, before GPS, the only thing a captain had to keep from crashing into rocks or another ship was sound. So they desperately needed a warning signal that was totally reliable, could travel for miles, and most importantly, could cut right through that thick, wet air. So, the big question was, how do you make a sound that can actually conquer fog? It turns out the answer isn't just about being louder. It's about choosing the right kind of sound. And that, my friends, is where the fundamental physics of sound waves comes into the picture. All right, this chart shows us the crucial difference. All sound travels in waves, right? Well, a high-pitched sound, like a shrill whistle, has these short, choppy little waves all packed together. But a low-pitched sound, like a big tuba or a foghorn, creates these long, stretched-out, rolling waves. And, as we're about to see, the physical shape of that wave, its wavelength, is absolutely everything. To really get why that wavelength is so important, I want you to stop thinking of fog as empty air. Instead, picture it as a dense, chaotic obstacle course. It is packed with millions upon millions of tiny water droplets, and every single one is standing between that warning signal and a sailor's ears. And this is exactly where it all goes wrong for high-pitched sounds. When those short, choppy waves hit that obstacle course of water droplets, they just crash into them and bounce off in every direction. They scatter. The sound's energy gets absorbed and muffled, essentially eaten alive by the fog itself. So a super loud, piercing alarm would literally just disintegrate into silence before it got very far. Totally useless. So if the short waves fail so spectacularly, how does physics give us the perfect tool for this life or death job? Well, the answer is to do the exact opposite. You send a long, powerful, low-frequency wave into that very same obstacle course. And this is the genius of it. Here's a great way to think about it. A high-pitched sound is like a little motorcycle trying to drive through a dense forest. It's going to hit the first tree and stop, right? But a low-pitched sound? That's like a giant monster truck. Its wheels are so massive, it just rolls right over the smaller obstacles. The long, powerful waves from a foghorn do the same thing. They literally flow around those tiny water droplets, keeping their shape and their energy intact. And making that sound is an engineering marvel in itself, using huge amounts of compressed air to make a massive diaphragm vibrate, pushing a column of air to create a wave powerful enough to be heard for miles. Okay, so let's wrap this up like we're giving a briefing to maritime safety officers. The key takeaway is this: the deep, booming sound of a foghorn isn't about tradition. It's a mandate from the laws of physics. For any warning signal to work in low visibility, it has to be low frequency. Now, of course, today's protocols rely on modern tech, radar, GPS, that kind of thing. But what happens if the electronics fail, or for smaller boats that don't have all that gear? The foghorn is the ultimate rock-solid fail-safe layer of security. It's the one warning that can't be hacked and doesn't need power on the ship that's listening for it. Its incredible reliability is its greatest strength. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Our world is just filled with these invisible rules, and our own survival has so often depended on us figuring them out and engineering our way around them. That foghorn isn't just a loud noise. It's a safety protocol written in the language of physics, a low, powerful voice that continues to protect lives by mastering the very air around us. Pretty cool.